Welcome back to the Comic Book Savant YouTube channel. I'm your host, James Harris. In this episode, we're going to be doing a comic book review. We're going to be reviewing the newest installment of the Legend of Korra original graphic novel series. This one is The Legend of Korra, Ruins of the Empire, Part 1. Now, if you're unfamiliar with The Legend of Korra, it was a popular anime, I guess you can say American-inspired anime that had a cartoon on Nickelodeon. Since that cartoon ended a few years ago, they started an original graphic novel series continuing the exploits of the characters, picking up right after the television series ended off. It is connected to the same world of Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's a continuation after Avatar Aang passes away. This is the next Avatar after him. It continues the story on Korra playing the role as the new Avatar in the world. I've done previous reviews on the first series, which was Turf Wars. It was 3 parts to that. I have reviews for all of those up, and I'll put those up right here, and it'll take you to a playlist that has all the reviews for all 3 parts of that first series. This is the first part of the second series that's coming out, and I have to say the creative team of Michael Dante Dimartino, which is one of the original creators, producers of the show, as well as Michelle Wong, which is one of the lead artists that comes over and does the artwork for the book, has just continued to do a great job. The visuals are very reminiscent of the cartoon, so you don't have any missteps with that. Being that, Dimartino is still involved, the writing is top notch. They're really progressing these characters and growing on. And, with this new story, some remnants of what happened during the last season of Korra, the Legend of Korra, is kind of coming back to kind of haunt the characters. It was a huge war that happened towards the end of the series, and the first series was dealing with some of the repercussions there, and on the home front, and now you're starting to see the ripple effects throughout the rest of the world, the larger world. So we're starting to pan out some, and it's you're having a conflict going on with the Earth Kingdom, and now Korra and Team Avatar are involved in trying to resolve a potential war taking place. So it's really, it's really just engaging. Really well done. I love the cartoon series. I've talked about it a lot here on the channel. Like I said, I've reviewed all the previous ones, and I'm still going to continue to keep doing the reviews. If you're unfamiliar with the cartoon, if you like animation at all, and I know some of us are just straight up comic book fans and are not big fans of animation. I like anything that's related. Again, it was a TV show. My wife introduced me to Avatar: The Last Airbender, then Legend of Korra. After she introduced me to it, a few years later, they introduced The Legend of Korra. I was all over it at that point because I was a huge fan of Avatar and I wanted to see the continuation. And it's really cool that they do these original graphic novels, even though the show might have gone off the air, that they're still continuing the world and growing and evolving the characters. And they've done that as well. They also do that with Avatar. They have a series of ongoing original graphic novels for that as well that has been going on for quite a few years now. Have a lot of different installments. And this is something I recommend to people. Like if you have a spouse that might, Korra is a really great example of a strong female character before the hashtag Me Too and all that she was around, in animation. And a lot of young girls, really took to the character. Well, maybe it might be young women now, because it's been a few years that grew up on the character, and it really inspired a lot of people. So like if you might have a young daughter or niece that might be interested in something like that, and you want to, see if they would like comics, these are great little novels. They're only about 80 pages, so like equivalent to maybe 2 or 3 episodes of the cartoon. So like about an hour and a half worth of cartoons, kind of broken down into like 79 to 80 pages in these novels, and they retail for about $6.99. Probably can find them online a little bit cheaper. I know with the Turf Wars, that Dark Horse did a library edition, an oversized hardcover edition that was really beautiful. And that you definitely might want to check out if you want it in a more oversized format. But if you're giving it to like a little one or a young reader, you might want to just pick these up because they're paperback and they're kind of inexpensive. But if they do take to it and like it, maybe for a holiday, birthday, you can pick up the library edition. Again, it's a little bit more pricey. I think they're about retail for about $25, $30. Nice hardbound edition that would have, like for Turf Wars, it has all 3 volumes in that one oversized collection. It looks beautiful. I've seen pictures of it and a few videos online of it, and it's really stunning. But again, this particular volume continues on the great work coming out of the Turf Wars series. Again, you're kind of where you were zooming in, and they were kind of in Republic City, which is the central city of the world, where all the different kingdoms kind of come together. Now we're branching back out, seeing the ripple effects from all the things that happened in the end of the series now, and it's involving the Earth Kingdom, and it's really interesting, and it throws the team kind of in the middle of a bigger conflict that they're really not the cause of, but they have to deal with the repercussions and try to keep the peace. You know, they've have kind of garnered a legendary status from the events of how the series ended, the television series ended, and the things that they've still been doing afterwards, kind of rebuilding the world in the wake of the big war and fight that happens. So again, you're seeing great character development, great visuals. I can't speak highly enough of the series overall. And like I said, I'm not a young one, but I've just been a huge fan of the series since the very beginning. And I love the fact, and how much more stuff, like we find ourselves, we see a lot of shows, be it, that might get canceled and left. And it's really great that more and more, like, the creators that are really still passionate about it, can go to a medium like comics and continue to tell great stories. It's just in a different medium. It doesn't mean it goes away or ends. You can continue it and still bring good stories to fans of the material. It's just up to us as fans. Like, if we follow that live action television show, or we follow that cartoon or anime or whatever it may be, that we find it in those different, those different mediums and continue to support and enjoy them. So this is one that I do. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, this is a great read, fun read. It's just that it, I guess, speaks to that little kid in me the big little kid in me, I guess, that just loved the cartoon series. I really like what they've been doing with these, and I think they're definitely worth a try. So if you've ever watched the show, definitely pick it up. Even if you haven't watched the show and you're interested about it, I would pick up one, read it, and see if it catches your interest. And if you enjoy it, you could easily go back and get the other volumes. Again, they retail for about $6.99, so they're not super expensive, but I definitely think it's worth the price of admission, and you will enjoy it. But again, if you're new to the channel and you like the content that I'm bringing here, make sure you smash that thumbs up. Also, click the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you've already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell notification down below so you're alerted when new content drops. Make sure you do that, because sometimes they don't always alert you when new episodes drop. But if you click the bell notification to be notified, you'll definitely get an alert when new content drops on the channel. As well, if you haven't known or you haven't seen or heard already, I also do a podcast by the same name with the Comic Book Savant. I post all the recent episodes here. I'll put a card up here for a link to the playlist of the podcast episodes. So I have those here on the YouTube channel. It's only about 150 or so episodes. I'm reaching about 450 total for the span of the podcast. So if you blow through those and you want to go back and listen to earlier content, you can do that. You can just use any pod catcher application that you use and just search for Comic Book Savant. You should be able to find it and subscribe there. If you like listening to audio content, I do a weekly podcast there. Also, if you like the content that I'm doing here and you would like to consider becoming a Patreon, you can do that over at patreon.com /Comic Book Savant. For a little as $1 a month. You get extra benefits behind the scenes, all kind of different special bonuses and things like that. So if you like the content that I'm creating here and you want to help support, that's one way to do it, and you get something for your contribution. Additional podcasts, behind the scenes, all kinds of different bells and whistles. So definitely think about that as well. I appreciate all your guys' support. Leave any comments down below in the comment section. If have you read Legend of Korra? Are you interested in this series? If you have read it, or have you ever watched it, or do you even know what I'm talking about? Let me know down below, because I'm really curious. It's something that I like, and I'm trying to expose it to more people to give it a try, because it's a really good, clean, fun comic. And like I said, I like to use these sometimes to be as like a palate cleanser from once I read too much superhero stuff or too much like independent, dark, heavy stuff, to kind of cleanse the palate, reset me to read the next thing. I love having something like this that I can always go back to do it. So definitely check it out. As always, I'm your host, James Harris. This is the Comic Book Savant YouTube channel. Until next time, you guys stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.